Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to create Mailchimp subscriber from Google Forms responses. So here I've created a Google form where I'm receiving some users information. So here in this case I want whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using that detail, a new subscriber should be created in my Mailchimp account. So here to build this connection, I need to connect these applications using an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So here Pabbly Connect works on two principles, that are trigger and action. So here our trigger application will be Google Forms and our action application will be Mailchimp. So to learn this process step by step, let me take you to my screen. Welcome to my screen. So here you can see a Google form which I have created with the name contact information, and I have shared this Google form with my users too. So here in this case I want whenever a new response is received in my Google form, automatically using that detail, a new subscriber should be created in my Mailchimp account. So here to build this connection, I need to connect my Google form with my Mailchimp account. And to build this connection, I'm going to use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So this is the homepage of Pabbly Connect. You can visit this page by simply browsing for the URL pabbly.com/connect. Here you can see two options, that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. Now here after signing in, you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to integrate my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and here to build my connection, I need to create a workflow first. So for that, I'm going to click on this create workflow button that is given on the top right corner. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, I have to give a name to my workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create Mailchimp subscriber from Google Forms response. And here I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select your folder as per your need. Also, you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. And here to learn how to create your new folder, you can click on this learn more button and it will take you to our forum window where you can see all the instructions to create a new folder in Pabbly Connect. So moving back to my dashboard, and now here to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow with the name create Mailchimp subscriber from Google Forms response. And here you can see two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means action is a response towards our trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Google Forms and my trigger event as new response received, so that whenever a new response is captured in our Google Forms, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. And here you can see we have received a webhook URL. That means we will use this webhook URL to connect our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. So here, following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my Google Forms account, and this is the form which I've created using Google Forms. And now to connect my Google Forms with Pabbly Connect, what I'm going to do is that here I'm going to click on this responses, and under responses you can see we have received the option for link to sheets. So now here to connect my Google Forms with Pabbly Connect, I need to connect my Google Forms with Google Sheets first. So for that I'm going to click on this link to sheets. Here I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. And here you can see it has successfully created a new spreadsheet with the name contact information responses. And also you can see it has created some fields such as timestamp, first name, last name, email and phone number. So here these fields are similar to the ones which I've entered in my Google form. So now moving back to Google Sheet. So now here to check our Google form and Google Sheet connection, let's submit a response in our Google form. So for that, let me take you back to my Google form. Here I'm going to click on this preview option. And here I'm going to add some details and submit a test response. So here for the first name, I'm going to enter the name as dummy, last name as lead, email as dummy@pabblytuts.com, a random phone number. And after entering all these details, here I'm going to click on the submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Google Sheets. And here you can see we have successfully received a response here. That means we have successfully connected our Google Forms with our Google Sheet. So now after building this connection, what we have to do is that now we are going to connect our Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect so that all the response received here in Google Sheet should be captured by Pabbly Connect. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to click on this extensions, and from here we are going to click on this add-ons, and from here we are going to click on this get add-ons button. Now here in this Google Workspace Marketplace, we have to search for our add-on, that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And then you have to add this Pabbly Connect Webhooks add-on in your Google Sheet so that you can connect your Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. So now here after adding this add-on, you have to follow all the same steps. So now moving back, and after adding this add-on, you have to click on this extensions again, and then you will be able to see an option that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So from here we are going to click on this initial setup. And here under initial setup, you can see we have received two options that are webhook URL and trigger column. So here for this webhook URL, let me take you back to Pabbly window. And here I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Moving back to Google Sheet, and here I'm going to enter the webhook URL. Now here after adding this webhook URL, here it is asking for trigger column. So the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So here you can see our last data column is column E. So here for the trigger column, we are going to enter the column as E. And now here after entering this webhook URL and trigger column, here I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says setup configured successfully. So now here after building this setup, let's send a test data by clicking on this send test button. And here you can see it says test data sent successfully. And now after this initial setup, you have to follow another very important step so that Pabbly Connect could capture the response easily. So for that, you have to click on this extensions again. And from here, you have to click on this Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And then from here, you have to click on this send on event. So here by doing this, automatically whenever a new response is received in our Google Sheet, that response will be captured by Pabbly Connect. So now let's check it again. And from here you can see we have successfully turned on this send on event. So now let's go back to our Pabbly window. And here you can see we have successfully captured a response here where we have received the phone number, last name, first name, email and other details. So with this we have successfully set up this trigger step. Now let's move to action step. And here I'm going to select my action application as Mailchimp. And my action event as add a new member with custom fields, so that whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using that detail, a new subscriber should be created in my Mailchimp account. And now to connect my Mailchimp with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection. If your Mailchimp account is already connected with Pabbly Connect, then you can click on select existing connection. And now here to build a new connection, it is asking for a token and data center. So here following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my Mailchimp account. And from here I'm going to click on my profile. And from here I'm going to select this profile option. And then from here I'm going to select extras. And under extras, you can see we have received the option for API keys. So here I'm going to select this. And here under API keys, you can see all the API keys I have created for my use. So here to generate a new API key, I'm going to scroll it little down. And then you can see I have received the option for create a key. So here I'm going to click on this. And here I'm going to give a name to my API key, that is Google Forms. And then I'm going to click on this generate key. And here you can see we have successfully generated the new API key. So here I'm going to copy to clipboard, moving back to Pabbly window, and here I'm going to enter the API key. Now after entering this API key, here it is asking for data center. And here in the instruction it says, enter the data center example US19 which appears as a subdomain in your Mailchimp account URL. So here to get our data center, let me take you back to my Mailchimp account. And here you can see in the URL my data center is US6. So moving back to Pabbly window, and here I'm going to enter my data center as US6. So now here after entering the API token and data center, here I'm going to click on the save. And now we are successfully connected. So moving forward, and now here it is asking me to select the choose audience list. So here I'm going to select my audience list which I have already created with the name Pabbly Connect. Moving forward, and now here it is asking me to enter the email address. So here, instead of entering this email address manually, here I will map the data. Mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here I will map the data from the response I have received in my Google Forms. Mapping makes the text dynamic so that whenever a new response is captured in my Google Forms, automatically this previously existing detail will be updated with the new one. So here I am going to map the email address. Moving forward, here this tags field is not a required field, so here I'm going to leave it blank. Moving forward, here for the select the status of the subscriber, I'm going to select the status as subscribed. Again, this interest field is not a required field, so here I'm going to leave it blank. And now here it is asking for first name. So here I'm going to map the first name. Again, I'm going to ignore this gender field. Moving forward, here I'm going to map the last name. Here I'm going to map the phone number. And again it is asking for phone field, so here I'm going to leave it blank. And now here, after entering all the required data, here I'm going to click on the save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response. So now let's go and check our Mailchimp account. And here in my Mailchimp account, you can see I have successfully created a new subscriber with the email address as dummy@pabblytudes.com, first name as dummy, last name as lead, and a random phone number. So with this, we have successfully set up our automation. Now let's test our automation to check whether it is working or not. So to test our automation, we need to submit a new response in our Google Forms. And for that, let me take you back to my form. So here I'm going to refresh it. And here I'm going to add another dummy data and do a test submission. So here for the first name, I'm going to enter the name as test, last name as lead, email as test@pabblytudes.com, and a random phone number. And after entering all these details, here I'm going to click on the submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Google Sheet first. And here you can see we have successfully received a response here. So now let's go and check our Mailchimp account. Here I'm going to refresh this window. And here you can see we have successfully created a new subscriber with the email as test@pabblytudes.com, first name as test, last name as lead, and a random phone number. So with this, we have successfully tested our automation. Now let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have taken a trigger as Google Forms and an action as Mailchimp, so that whenever a new response is received in our Google Forms, automatically using that detail, a new subscriber should be created in our Mailchimp account. If you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the clone link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubt, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can contact us on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can contact us on www.pabbly.com. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.